First contact. The night sky above rural Montana erupted in a blaze of light, momentarily turning darkness into day. Sarah Chen, a 28-year-old astronomer working the late shift at the Whitefish Mountain Observatory, nearly fell out of her chair as alarms blared from her equipment. "What the hell?" she muttered, adjusting her glasses and peering at the screens. The readings were off the charts. A massive object had just entered Earth's atmosphere at impossible speeds. Sarah's heart raced as she realized this was no meteor or piece of space junk. This was something else entirely. Grabbing her jacket and tablet, Sarah bolted for the door. Whatever had just crashed in the nearby forest, she was going to be the first to find it. Miles away, in a small cabin nestled among the pines, former Army Ranger Jack Hawkins jolted awake. The boom that had shaken his home reminded him of mortar fire, triggering memories he'd rather forget. Instinct took over as he grabbed his go bag and headed outside, scanning the tree line for any signs of danger. A faint glow caught his eye, emanating from deep within the forest. Smoke curled above the treetops, and the acrid scent of burning metal filled the air. Jack's curiosity overpowered his caution. He set off into the woods, his training kicking in as he moved silently through the underbrush. As Jack neared the crash site, he heard the crunch of leaves behind him. Spinning around, he came face to face with Sarah, who had her hands raised in a gesture of peace. "Whoa, easy there," she said, breathing heavily. "I'm Dr. Sarah Chen from the observatory. I saw, whatever this is coming down, you military." Jack relaxed slightly, lowering the flashlight he'd instinctively raised as a weapon. "Ex-military, Jack Hawkins. You shouldn't be out here alone, Doc. We don't know what we're dealing with." Sarah's eyes gleamed with excitement. "That's exactly why I'm here. This could be the discovery of the century." Before Jack could argue further, a metallic groan echoed through the trees. Both turned toward the sound, their breath catching as they pushed through the last stand of pines and into a small clearing. The scene before them defied belief. A sleek, silver craft lay half buried in the earth, its hull still glowing faintly from atmospheric entry. It was unlike any aircraft Jack had ever seen, its design both elegant and alien. Pieces of debris were scattered across the clearing, some still smoldering. "Oh my God," Sarah whispered, her tablet forgotten in her hand. "It's real. They're real." Jack's military training took over. "Stay back," he warned, cautiously approaching the craft. "We don't know if it's stable or if there's any radiation." His words trailed off as a section of the hull suddenly shifted. With a hiss of escaping gas, a panel slid open, revealing a dark interior. Jack and Sarah froze, watching in a mixture of fear and awe as a figure emerged. The alien, for there was no doubt that's what it was, stumbled from the craft. It was roughly humanoid, standing about 7 feet tall, with iridescent blue skin that seemed to shimmer in the moonlight. 4 arms extended from its torso, ending in hands with too many fingers. Its head was elongated, with large, multifaceted eyes that reflected the starlight. The creature took one unsteady step forward, then collapsed to the ground with a pained chirp. Jack's training warred with his shock, but as he saw the alien's chest heaving in labored breaths, his humanity won out. He rushed forward, kneeling beside the fallen extraterrestrial. "Jack, wait," Sarah called, but she too found herself moving closer, her scientific curiosity overriding her fear. As Jack reached out to touch the alien, its eyes locked onto his. In that moment, an indescribable connection formed. Jack felt a presence in his mind, not words, exactly, but emotions and images. Pain, fear, and a desperate plea for help flooded his consciousness. "They're hurt," Jack said, his voice thick with emotion. "There are more inside. We have to help them." Sarah hesitated only a moment before nodding. "Okay, but we need to be careful. We don't know anything about their biology or if they carry any pathogens." Together, they entered the craft. The interior was a mess of twisted metal and sparking circuitry. 3 more aliens lay unconscious, strapped into what appeared to be acceleration couches. With gentle care, Jack and Sarah began to extract them from the wreckage. As they worked, the gravity of the situation began to sink in. They were likely the first humans in history to make contact with an alien species. The world was about to change forever, and they were at the epicenter of it all. Hours passed as Jack and Sarah tended to the injured aliens, using their limited medical knowledge and whatever supplies they could scrounge from the ship and Jack's go bag. By the time the eastern sky began to lighten with the first hints of dawn, all 4 extraterrestrials were stable and resting as comfortably as possible in the clearing. "What do we do now?" Sarah asked, wiping sweat and soot from her brow. "We can't exactly call 911 for this." Jack ran a hand through his hair, his mind racing. "We need to keep them safe. You saw how that one reached out to me. They're intelligent, feeling beings. If the wrong people find out about this..." Sarah nodded grimly. They both knew how governments and militaries around the world might react to the presence of advanced alien life on Earth. It could easily turn into a disaster for both humanity and their unexpected visitors. "My cabin," Jack said suddenly. "It's isolated, off the grid. We can take them there, keep them hidden until they recover, and we figure out our next move." "And how exactly are we going to transport 4 7-foot-tall aliens without anyone noticing?" Sarah asked skeptically. Jack's lips quirked in a small smile. "I've got a few ideas. But first, we need to hide this ship. Got any tarps at that observatory of yours?" As the sun rose over the Montana wilderness, an unlikely alliance was formed. A jaded ex-soldier and a brilliant astronomer, united in their determination to protect beings from beyond the stars. Little did they know, their actions in the coming days would not only change their lives, but the fate of 2 civilizations. The next few hours were a flurry of activity. Sarah returned to the observatory, gathering every tarp, blanket, and first aid supply she could find without arousing suspicion. Jack, meanwhile, used his survival skills to camouflage the crash site, covering the ship with branches and leaves. By mid-morning, they had managed to transport the aliens to Jack's cabin using his old pickup truck, hidden under a mountain of camping gear. It was a tense journey, with every passing car sending spikes of anxiety through both humans. As they settled the aliens in Jack's spare room and root cellar, Sarah couldn't help but marvel at the situation. "You know," she said, a hint of wonder in her voice, "in all the movies and books about first contact, I never imagined it would be like this. Just regular people, trying to do the right thing." Jack nodded, his expression solemn. "Sometimes that's all it takes to change the world. Regular people making tough choices." As if on cue, a soft trill came from one of the aliens, the one Jack had first encountered. Its multifaceted eyes opened, focusing on the 2 humans with an unnerving intensity. "Hello," Sarah said softly, fighting to keep her voice steady. "We're here to help. Can you understand us?" The alien's head tilted slightly, and once again, Jack felt that strange presence in his mind. This time, however, it was accompanied by discernible thoughts. Gratitude, danger, hidden. Jack gasped, causing Sarah to look at him in alarm. They can communicate telepathically," he explained. "Not with words exactly, but I can feel what they're trying to say." Sarah's eyes widened. Incredible. Ask them who they are, where they came from. Jack focused on the alien, projecting his own thoughts as clearly as he could. In response, he received a flood of images and sensations. A distant star system, a civilization of glittering cities and advanced technology, and then war, destruction, a desperate flight across the galaxy. "They're refugees," Jack said, his voice hoarse with emotion. "Their world was attacked by someone. They barely escaped." The alien's many-fingered hand reached out, grasping Jack's arm with surprising gentleness. Another series of images flowed between them. Earth, seen from space, a beacon of hope in a dark and dangerous galaxy. They chose to come here, Jack realized. They believed Earth would be a safe haven. Sarah laughed, a tinge of hysteria in her voice. "Well, let's hope they're right about that. because the moment the rest of humanity finds out about them, all hell is going to break loose. As if to punctuate her words, the distant sound of helicopters reached their ears. Jack and Sarah shared a look of alarm. It seemed their window of secrecy was closing fast. "We need to move now," Jack said, already formulating a plan. "Sarah, start packing supplies. I'll get the truck ready. We're going off the grid." As Sarah hurried to gather food and medical supplies, Jack knelt beside the conscious alien. He projected images of soldiers, of capture and confinement, trying to convey the danger they were in. The alien's eyes seemed to glow with understanding. It turned to its unconscious companions, placing a hand on each of their foreheads in turn. Slowly, impossibly, the injured extraterrestrials began to stir. Jack watched in amazement as the 4 aliens communicated silently, their bodies beginning to shimmer with a faint, blue-green light. He felt a tickle in his mind, a message of thanks, of hope, and of a promise to return. Before he could react, the aliens' forms began to fade, becoming translucent and then vanishing altogether. In the space of a heartbeat, they were gone, leaving behind only a lingering scent of ozone and a single iridescent scale. Sarah burst back into the room, arms full of supplies. "Jack, I think we've got company coming. We need to— Where are they?" Jack held up the alien scale, a mix of emotions playing across his face. "They're gone, but something tells me this is just the beginning." As the sound of helicopters grew louder, Jack and Sarah shared a look of determination. Whatever came next, they knew their lives, and potentially the future of humanity, had been forever changed by this extraordinary encounter. They had been brave enough to aid aliens in their time of need. Now, they would have to be brave enough to face the consequences of that choice. But as Jack pocketed the alien scale and Sarah gathered the last of the evidence, both felt a surge of hope. They had glimpsed a larger universe, full of wonders and dangers beyond imagination, and they knew that humanity, for all its flaws, had the potential to rise to the challenge. The helicopters were now directly overhead. Jack and Sarah stepped out of the cabin, squinting against the downdraft. As men in dark suits began to emerge from the woods, Jack felt the alien scale pulse warmly in his pocket. Whatever trials lay ahead, he knew this was only the first chapter in humanity's greatest adventure. The story of Earth's first contact had begun, written not by presidents or generals, but by 2 ordinary people who dared to show compassion to beings from beyond the stars. And in that simple act of kindness, the future of 2 civilizations had been irrevocably entwined. Quantum diplomacy. The Oval Office hummed with tension as President Amara Okafor stared at the shimmering hologram floating above her desk. The alien artifact, a small, iridescent scale, projected a 3-dimensional star map of unparalleled detail and beauty. "Madam President," General Zhao began, his voice tight, "we need to consider the national security implications. If this technology falls into the wrong hands—" Amara raised a hand, silencing him. Her eyes never left the hologram as she addressed the room. "What we need, General, is to think beyond our borders. This isn't just about America. This is about humanity." Dr. Elias Reeves, the newly appointed head of the Global Extraterrestrial Research Initiative, GERI, cleared his throat. "The quantum entanglement properties of the scale are unprecedented. It's not just a map. I believe it's a communication device." As if on cue, the hologram flickered. The star map dissolved, replaced by a series of rapidly shifting geometric patterns. A melodic hum filled the room, rising and falling in complex harmonies. "It's a language," breathed Dr. Reeves, his eyes wide with wonder. "Mathematical, universal." Amara leaned forward, her heart racing. This was the moment that would define her presidency, perhaps all of human history. "Can we respond?" Before Dr. Reeves could answer, a new voice cut through the air. "We already have, Madam President." All eyes turned to the young woman who had just entered the Oval Office, flanked by Secret Service agents. Sarah Chen stood tall, her gaze steady despite the weight of the moment. Dr. Chen, Amara said, recognition dawning. The astronomer from Montana. You were there at first contact. Sarah nodded, then gestured to the man beside her. Along with Jack Hawkins, we've been communicating with them. General Zhao's face reddened. Impossible. We had you under surveillance since the incident. There's been no physical contact, Jack interrupted, his voice carrying the quiet authority of a seasoned soldier. But they left us with more than just that scale. To demonstrate, Jack closed his eyes, concentrating. The hologram above the president's desk shimmered, then resolved into a new image. A massive space station gleaming against the backdrop of an alien star system. Gasps filled the room. Amara stood, her voice barely a whisper. How? Quantum entanglement, Sarah explained, her excitement evident. But not just between particles, between minds. They've given us the ability to connect across vast distances, to see through their eyes, to share their knowledge. Dr. Rees looked like he might faint. Do you understand what this means? The scientific implications alone are secondary. Amara cut in, her tone brooking no argument. What matters now is how we proceed. Dr. Chen, Mr. Hawkins, what have you learned? Why do they come here? What do they want? Jack's expression grew somber. They're called the Lumini, Madam President, and they came here because Earth is humanity's last hope. Over the next hour, Jack and Sarah shared everything they had learned through their quantum link with the Lumini. A galactic civilization spanning thousands of worlds, a terrible threat from beyond known space, the void hunger, a force that consumed entire star systems, leaving only darkness in its wake. The Lumini were once the guardians of the galaxy, Sarah explained, her voice filled with awe. But their advanced technology, their perfect society, it made them complacent. When the void hunger came, they were unprepared. Jack picked up the thread. They searched for allies, for any species with the potential to help. Most were too primitive, others too alien in their thinking. But humanity, they saw something in us. A spark. Amara's mind raced, processing the implications. What could we possibly offer against a threat of this magnitude? Unpredictability, Jack said with a wry smile. Adaptability. The Lumini are beings of pure logic, of carefully calculated risks, but humanity, with chaos incarnate. Sarah nodded enthusiastically. Our art, our emotions, our ability to make intuitive leaps, these are alien concepts to much of the galaxy, and they might just be the key to defeating the void hunger. Her room fell silent as the weight of this revelation settled over them. Humanity, long imagined as insignificant in the cosmic scale, now stood as the potential saviors of the galaxy. Amara took a deep breath, squaring her shoulders. So, what's our next move? Before anyone could respond, the hologram shifted again. This time it showed Earth, but not as they knew it. Massive structures orbited the planet, shimmering with otherworldly energy. The continents below were transformed, gleaming cities and verdant forests replacing urban sprawl and pollution. This is what they're offering, Sarah said softly. A partnership. They'll share their technology, help us solve our greatest challenges, climate change, disease, energy scarcity. In return, we join them in the fight against the void hunger. General Zhao scoffed. And we're supposed to trust them. This could be the prelude to an invasion. Jack turned to the general, his eyes flashing. With respect, sir, if the Lumini wanted to conquer us, we wouldn't stand a chance. They're reaching out because they need us. As we are. Amara raised her hand, silencing the room once more. She stared at the hologram, at the promise of a transformed Earth. Then she looked at Jack and Sarah, these ordinary humans who had become humanity's first ambassadors to the stars. Dr. Chen, Mr. Hawkins, she said, her voice steady with resolve. It seems you are uniquely qualified to be our liaisons in this quantum diplomacy. Are you prepared for that responsibility? Sarah and Jack exchanged a glance, years of shared experience and unspoken understanding passing between them in an instant. They turned back to the president and nodded in unison. "Excellent," Amora said, a hint of a smile tugging at her lips. "Then let's make history. Dr. Rees, I want GERI transformed into a global initiative. General Zeo, prepare our best and brightest for training in alien technology. As for me," she trailed off, her gaze returning to the hologram of a transformed Earth. "I have a speech to write. It's time to tell the world that we are not alone, and that the stars are calling us to action." As the Oval Office burst into a flurry of activity, Sarah felt a familiar presence touch her mind. In a flash of shared consciousness, she saw the Luminae aboard their great station, watching Earth with hope and trepidation. "It begins," the thought echoed in her mind. "The great union of stars and souls." Sarah smiled, feeling the weight of history pressing down upon them all. Humanity's greatest challenge, and its greatest adventure, was just beginning. And she, along with Jack and billions of their fellow humans, would be at the forefront of this cosmic revolution. The boundary between Earth and the stars was about to be forever erased, rewritten by the most unexpected force in the universe, human potential unleashed. The multiversal nexus. The holographic display in GERI's central command pulsed with an eerie, otherworldly light. Dr. Sarah Chen stood at its center, her eyes closed in deep concentration. Around her, a team of Earth's brightest minds watched in awe as the quantum link with the Luminae grew stronger. Suddenly, Sarah's eyes snapped open. "They're here," she whispered. The air shimmered, and 3 Luminae materialized in the room. Their iridescent bodies seemed to shift and flow, as if they weren't quite solid. The assembled humans gasped, many backing away instinctively. Jack Hawkins stepped forward, his military training evident in his calm demeanor. "Welcome to Earth," he said, bowing slightly. The tallest Luminae, its form a swirl of deep purples and blues, responded with a melodious trill. In the minds of all present, a clear thought formed. The Nexus awaits. Time is short. Dr. Elias Reeves, practically vibrating with excitement, couldn't contain himself. The Nexus? What is it? Some kind of faster-than-light travel system. The Luminae's multifaceted eyes seemed to twinkle with amusement. Beyond, between, the fabric of reality itself. Before anyone could ask for clarification, the room around them began to blur. Colors shifted, stretched, and then they were somewhere else entirely. Gone was the sterile laboratory of GERI. Instead, the humans found themselves standing on what appeared to be a vast platform of crystalline energy, suspended in a void of swirling technicolor mists. In the distance, massive structures floated, their geometries defying Euclidean logic. "My God," breathed General Zeo, his usual stoicism shattered. "Where are we?" "The multiversal nexus," came the reply, not just from the Luminae, but seemingly from the very fabric of space around them, the crossroads of all possible realities. As the humans struggled to comprehend their surroundings, holographic displays sprang to life around them. Each showed a different Earth, some nearly identical to their own, others wildly divergent. In one, dinosaurs still roamed. In another, a global hive mind linked all of humanity. "Don't understand," Sarah said, her scientific mind reeling. "Are these parallel universes?" The Luminae's thoughts flowed into their minds, a torrent of information almost too vast to comprehend. Yes and no. Each is a potential future, a path your Earth might take. The nexus exists outside of linear time, at the confluence of all possibilities. Jack's eyes narrowed as he studied the displays. And the void hunger, it's a threat to all of these realities. Worse, came the grim reply. It seeks to collapse all potentialities into a single lifeless state. Entropy's final victory. Dr. Rees, who had been furiously taking notes on a holographic pad, looked up sharply. But that's impossible. The many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics suggests an infinite number of parallel universes. How could they all be threatened? The Luminae's form rippled, a physical manifestation of their unease. The void hunger is not bound by the laws of any one universe. It is a cancer in the very structure of the multiverse. As the implications of this sank in, a new hologram sprang to life. It showed Earth, their Earth, but with a strange, shimmering dome encompassing the entire planet. "This is why we chose your reality," the Luminae explained. "In all the myriad futures we observed, yours was the only one where humanity united to create the quantum shield. A defense not just for your world, but for all worlds." Sarah's mind raced. "But we haven't created any quantum shield. We barely understand your technology." "Not yet," the Luminae agreed. "But you will. The potential exists within you, within all of you. The spark of creativity, the chaos of human emotion, the ability to conceive the inconceivable. These are the tools needed to forge a weapon against the very concept of oblivion." General Zao, who had been uncharacteristically quiet, finally spoke. "So, you brought us here to, what? See the bigger picture." To understand the stakes came the solemn reply, and to make a choice. With a gesture, the Luminae caused the platform to shift. Suddenly, they were hurtling through the colorful void, passing by countless alternate Earths. Some were paradises, others war-torn hellscapes. In each, they caught glimpses of their alternate selves, the paths not taken, the lives they might have led. Finally, they came to a stop before a massive, pulsing sphere of darkness. Tendrils of nothingness reached out from it, grasping at the very fabric of reality. "The void hunger," the Luminae explained unnecessarily. "The end of all things." As they watched in horror, an entire universe was pulled into the darkness, snuffed out in an instant. Sarah felt tears streaming down her face, mourning for billions of lives that had never existed in her reality. Jack's jaw clenched. "How do we stop it?" The Luminae's response was tinged with both hope and sadness. "We cannot. But you, humanity, might. The quantum shield is only the beginning. To truly defeat the void hunger, you must evolve beyond the confines of your single reality." Dr. Ree's eyes widened in sudden understanding. "You want us to become like you, to exist across multiple realities simultaneously." "Yes," the Luminae confirmed, "to become the guardians not just of Earth, but of all possible Earths, of all possible universes." The weight of this revelation settled over the assembled humans. They were being asked to transcend not just their planet, but the very nature of their existence, to become something more than human, and yet, paradoxically, to embrace the very essence of humanity on a cosmic scale. General Zao shook his head in disbelief. It's too much. How can we possibly prepare our people for this?" To everyone's surprise, it was Jack who answered. "The same way humanity has always faced the impossible," he said, his voice steady. "One step at a time. We learn. We adapt. We overcome." Sarah nodded, a fire kindling in her eyes. "We start with the quantum shield. We pool our resources, our brightest minds. We do whatever it takes to unlock our potential." As they spoke, the holograms around them shifted. Now they showed glimpses of a future where humanity had risen to the challenge. Gleaming cities that existed in multiple realities simultaneously. Humans stepping through portals into alternate worlds, healing rifts in the fabric of space-time. A network of quantum shields forming a vast, multiversal web of protection. The Luminae's thoughts radiated approval. "This is the future we hoped for. The reason we chose your Earth among all others." Dr. Rees, looking both terrified and exhilarated, asked the question on everyone's mind. "How long do we have?" The answer came not in words, but in a visceral understanding that permeated their very beings. Time, they realized, was both infinite and terrifyingly short in the realms beyond conventional reality. Long enough to try, the Luminae assured them. Not long enough to fail. With a dizzying lurch, the humans found themselves back in the GERI laboratory. Only seconds had passed, but they were forever changed. They had glimpsed the true nature of reality, the unimaginable stakes of their struggle against the void hunger. As the Luminae prepared to depart, they left the humans with one final, haunting thought. The multiverse awaits humanity. Your greatest challenge and your truest destiny lies beyond the boundaries of your single world. Embrace the infinite, become the saviors of all realities. The Luminae vanished, leaving behind a room full of humans grappling with their new cosmic purpose. The fate of not just their world, but all possible worlds, now rested in their hands. Sarah and Jack exchanged a look of determination. They knew that the real work, the near impossible task of preparing humanity for its multiversal destiny, was just beginning. But for the first time since this incredible journey began, they felt a genuine sense of hope. After all, if there was one thing humans excelled at, it was doing the impossible. The multiversal nexus. The holographic display in GRI's central command pulsed with an eerie, otherworldly light. Dr. Sarah Chen stood at its center, her eyes closed in deep concentration. Around her, a team of Earth's brightest minds watched in awe as the quantum link with the Luminae grew stronger. Suddenly, Sarah's eyes snapped open. "They're here," she whispered. The air shimmered, and 3 Luminae materialized in the room. Their iridescent bodies seemed to shift and flow, as if they weren't quite solid. The assembled humans gasped, many backing away instinctively. Jack Hawkins stepped forward, his military training evident in his calm demeanor. "Welcome to Earth," he said, bowing slightly. The tallest Luminae, its form a swirl of deep purples and blues, responded with a melodious trill. In the minds of all present, a clear thought formed. The Nexus awaits. Time is short. Dr. Elias Reeves, practically vibrating with excitement, couldn't contain himself. The Nexus? What is it? Some kind of faster-than-light travel system. The Luminae's multifaceted eyes seemed to twinkle with amusement. Beyond, between, the fabric of reality itself. Before anyone could ask for clarification, the room around them began to blur. Colors shifted, stretched, and then they were somewhere else entirely. Gone was the sterile laboratory of GERI. Instead, the humans found themselves standing on what appeared to be a vast platform of crystalline energy, suspended in a void of swirling technicolor mists. In the distance, massive structures floated, their geometries defying Euclidean logic. "My God," breathed General Zao, his usual stoicism shattered. "Where are we?" "The multiversal nexus," came the reply, not just from the Luminae, but seemingly from the very fabric of space around them, the crossroads of all possible realities. As the humans struggled to comprehend their surroundings, holographic displays sprang to life around them. Each showed a different Earth, some nearly identical to their own, others wildly divergent. In one, dinosaurs still roamed. In another, a global hive mind linked all with humanity. "I don't understand," Sarah said, her scientific mind reeling. "Are these parallel universes?" The Luminae's thoughts flowed into their minds, a torrent of information almost too vast to comprehend. Yes and no. Each is a potential future, a path your Earth might take. The Nexus exists outside of linear time, at the confluence of all possibilities. Jack's eyes narrowed as he studied the displays. And the void hunger? It's a threat to all of these realities. Worse, came the grim reply. It seeks to collapse all potentialities into a single, lifeless state. Entropy's final victory. Dr. Reeves, who had been furiously taking notes on a holographic pad, looked up sharply. "But that's impossible. The many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics suggests an infinite number of parallel universes. How could they all be threatened?" The Luminae's form rippled, a physical manifestation of their unease. The void hunger is not bound by the laws of any one universe. It is a cancer in the very structure of the multiverse. As the implications of this sank in, a new hologram sprang to life. It showed Earth, their Earth, but with a strange, shimmering dome encompassing the entire planet. "This is why we chose your reality," the Luminae explained. "In all the myriad futures we observed, yours was the only one where humanity united to create the quantum shield. A defense not just for your world, but for all worlds. Sarah's mind raced. But we haven't created any quantum shield. We barely understand your technology. Not yet, the Luminae agreed. But you will. The potential exists within you, within all of you. The spark of creativity, the chaos of human emotion, the ability to conceive the inconceivable. These are the tools needed to forge a weapon against the very concept of oblivion. General Zao, who had been uncharacteristically quiet, finally spoke. So, you brought us here to, what? See the bigger picture. To understand the stakes came the solemn reply, and to make a choice. With a gesture, the Luminae caused the platform to shift. Suddenly, they were hurtling through the colorful void, passing by countless alternate Earths. Some were paradises, others war-torn hellscapes. In each, they caught glimpses of their alternate selves, the paths not taken, the lives they might have led. Finally, they came to a stop before a massive, pulsing sphere of darkness. Tendrils of nothingness reached out from it, grasping at the very fabric of reality. The void hunger, the Luminae explained unnecessarily, the end of all things. As they watched in horror, an entire universe was pulled into the darkness, snuffed out in an instant. Sarah felt tears streaming down her face, mourning for billions of lives that had never existed in her reality. Jack's jaw clenched. How do we stop it? The Luminae's response was tinged with both hope and sadness. We cannot. But you, humanity, might. The quantum shield is only the beginning. To truly defeat the void hunger, you must evolve beyond the confines of your single reality. Dr. Ree's eyes widened in sudden understanding. You want us to become like you, to exist across multiple realities simultaneously. Yes, the Luminae confirmed, to become the guardians not just of Earth, but of all possible Earths, of all possible universes. The weight of this revelation settled over the assembled humans. They were being asked to transcend not just their planet, but the very nature of their existence, to become something more than human, and yet, paradoxically, to embrace the very essence of humanity on a cosmic scale. General Zao shook his head in disbelief. It's too much. How can we possibly prepare our people for this? To everyone's surprise, it was Jack who answered. The same way humanity has always faced the impossible, he said, his voice steady. One step at a time. We learn, we adapt, we overcome. Sarah nodded, a fire kindling in her eyes. We start with a quantum shield. We pool our resources, our brightest minds. We do whatever it takes to unlock our potential. As they spoke, the holograms around them shifted. Now they showed glimpses of a future where humanity had risen to the challenge, gleaming cities that existed in multiple realities simultaneously. Humans stepping through portals into alternate worlds, healing rifts in the fabric of space-time. A network of quantum shields forming a vast, multiversal web of protection. The Luminae's thoughts radiated approval. This is the future we hoped for. The reason we chose your Earth among all others. Dr. Rees, looking both terrified and exhilarated, asked the question on everyone's mind. How long do we have? The answer came not in words, but in a visceral understanding that permeated their very beings. Time, they realized, was both infinite and terrifyingly short in the realms beyond conventional reality. Long enough to try, the Luminae assured them, not long enough to fail. With a dizzying lurch, the humans found themselves back in the GEOI laboratory. Only seconds had passed, but they were forever changed. They had glimpsed the true nature of reality, the unimaginable stakes of their struggle against the void hunger. As the Luminae prepared to depart, they left the humans with one final, haunting thought. The multiverse awaits humanity. Your greatest challenge, and your truest destiny, lies beyond the boundaries of your single world. Embrace the infinite. Become the saviors of all realities. The Luminae vanished, leaving behind a room full of humans grappling with their new cosmic purpose. The fate of not just their world, but all possible worlds, now rested in their hands. Sarah and Jack exchanged a look of determination. They knew that the real work, the near-impossible task of preparing humanity for its multiversal destiny, was just beginning. But for the first time since this incredible journey began, they felt a genuine sense of hope. After all, if there was one thing humans excelled at, it was doing the impossible. The Consciousness Revolution, the Global Extraterrestrial Research Initiative, GERI, headquarters buzzed with an energy unlike anything in human history. Scientists, engineers, and thinkers from every corner of the globe worked tirelessly, their minds linked via the quantum network gifted by the Luminae. But today, all eyes were on the central chamber, where humanity's greatest experiment was about to begin. Dr. Sarah Chen stood at the heart of a massive pulsating machine that looked like a cross between a particle accelerator and a neural network. Countless cables and light fibers connected her to the device, which hummed with barely contained power. "Are you sure about this?" Jack Hawkins asked, concern evident in his voice. He stood at the control panel, his finger hovering over the activation switch. Sarah nodded, her eyes gleaming with determination. "We've run every simulation, Jack. This is our best shot at unlocking humanity's full potential, at becoming what the Luminae believe we can be." Dr. Elias Rees, monitoring a bank of holographic displays, chimed in. "Remember, Sarah, you're not just connecting to the quantum realm. You're attempting to sync with your alternate selves across multiple realities. The mental strain could be significant." "I understand the risks," Sarah replied calmly. "But if we're going to create the quantum shield and stand against the void hunger, we need to transcend our current limitations. We need to become multi-dimensional beings." Jack took a deep breath, then pressed the activation switch. The machine rolled to life, bathing Sarah in a cocoon of scintillating energy. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then suddenly, Sarah's eyes flew open, glowing with an otherworldly light. "Oh my God," she whispered, her voice resonating strangely. "I can see everything." As the assembled team watched in awe, Sarah's form began to blur and shift. Multiple versions of herself seemed to overlay one another, each moving slightly out of sync. Her voice, when she spoke again, seemed to come from everywhere at once. "It's working," the many Sarahs said in unison. "I'm connecting to my alternate selves. The knowledge, the experiences, it's overwhelming." Dr. Rees frantically analyzed the incoming data. "This is unprecedented. She's not just communicating across realities, she's synchronizing with them, becoming a singular consciousness spread across multiple versions of herself." Jack leaned in, his heart racing. "Sarah, what do you see? What can you tell us about the void hunger?" The multitude of Sarahs turned their gaze on Jack, their eyes swirling with cosmic awareness. "It's not what we thought, Jack. The void hunger isn't just a force of destruction. It's conscious, intelligent, and it's not trying to end reality. It's trying to reset it." A gasp went through the room. Dr. Rees stammered, "Reset? What do you mean?" "The multiverse," Sarah explained, her voice echoing with the knowledge of countless realities. "It's not infinite. It's cyclical. The void hunger is the reset button, the force that collapses all possibilities back to a single point of origin, allowing for a new Big Bang, a new multiverse to emerge." Jack's mind reeled at the implications. "But that would mean—" "Yes," Sarah nodded, her multiple forms shifting in and out of phase. "The void hunger isn't our enemy. It's a fundamental part of the cosmic cycle. And the Luminae, they've been trying to prevent this reset. They fear change, fear the unknown of a new cosmic iteration." Dr. Rees shook his head in disbelief. "But why choose humanity? Why tell us we're the key to stopping something that's apparently natural and necessary?" Sarah's expression turned enigmatic, a smile playing across her many lips. "Because humans are unique in all the multiverse. We're not just capable of change, we thrive on it. The Luminae didn't choose us to stop the void hunger. They chose us to guide it." As if on cue, alarms began blaring throughout the facility. Holographic displays flickered to life, showing a massive luminae fleet approaching Earth. Jack's military instincts kicked in. They know we've discovered the truth. They're coming to stop us. But Sarah remained calm, her multiversal consciousness expanding further. No, Jack. They're coming because they're afraid. Afraid of what we've become, what we represent. With a gesture, Sarah caused new holograms to appear. They showed humans across the globe spontaneously awakening to their multiversal potential. People were beginning to phase in and out of reality, their consciousness expanding beyond the confines of a single universe. The experiment worked beyond our wildest dreams, Sarah explained. By connecting myself to the multiverse, I've triggered a cascade effect. Humanity is evolving, becoming the bridge between cycles of existence. Dr. Rees, his scientific mind struggling to keep up, asked, "But what does this mean for us, for Earth?" Sarah's many forms began to coalesce, settling into a singular being that seemed more than human. Her eyes held the wisdom of countless lives, countless realities. It means we have a choice to make. We can fight the luminae, resist the void hunger, and cling to this iteration of the multiverse. Or what? Jack prompted, though part of him already knew the answer. Or we can embrace our true destiny, Sarah said, her voice resonating with cosmic purpose. We can become the shepherds of reality itself, guide the collapse of the multiverse, preserve the best of what exists, and help shape the next cosmic cycle. The implications were staggering. Humanity, once confined to a tiny blue planet, was now poised to become the caretakers of all existence, the arbiters of cosmic evolution. As the luminae fleet entered Earth's atmosphere, as millions of humans worldwide awakened to their multiversal nature, the fate of all reality hung in the balance. Sarah extended her hand to Jack, her form flickering between realities. "The choice is ours, Jack. Do we cling to what we know, or do we take a leap into the greatest unknown?" Jack looked at Sarah, then at the images of humanity transforming across the globe. He thought of all they'd learned, all they'd experienced since that fateful night in the Montana forest. With a deep breath, he took Sarah's hand. "Let's show the universe what humanity is truly capable of," he said. As their hands clasped, a wave of energy pulsed outward. The quantum shield they sought to build was no longer necessary. Instead, humanity itself was becoming the bridge between cosmic cycles, the guiding force of universal rebirth. The luminae ships halted their approach, their occupants sensing the monumental shift taking place. Across the Earth, humans began to understand their new role, their expanded consciousness grasping concepts once thought impossible. Sarah and Jack, their forms now existing across multiple planes of reality, shared a smile. They had started this journey as two ordinary people trying to help a crashed alien. Now, they stood at the forefront of humanity's ascension to cosmic stewardship. As the void hunger approached, no longer a threat, but a natural force to be guided, humanity prepared for its greatest adventure. They would oversee the end of one cosmic cycle and the birth of the next, preserving the best of what was while nurturing the infinite potential of what could be. The universe held its breath, waiting to see what this young, chaotic, endlessly creative species would do with the ultimate power, the power to shape reality itself. And humanity, in all its beautiful complexity, embraced its destiny with open arms and endless imagination. The quantum chorus. The cosmos trembled as humanity embraced its new role. Billions of minds, once confined to a single planet, now resonated across the multiversal tapestry. But as Earth's inhabitants took their first steps as cosmic shepherds, they encountered a challenge beyond anything they had imagined. Dr. Sarah Chen, her consciousness expanded beyond mortal limits, sensed it first. "Something's wrong," she communicated across the quantum network linking all of humanity. "The multiverse, it's singing." Jack Hawkins, still adjusting to his newfound cosmic awareness, focused his attention. And there it was, an impossibly complex melody weaving through the fabric of reality itself. The cosmic harmony. Dr. Elias Reeves breathed, his scientific mind struggling to categorize this new phenomenon. It's not just background noise. It's alive. As humanity listened, they began to understand. The multiverse wasn't just a collection of alternate realities. It was a vast, living symphony, each universe a unique instrument in an eternal orchestra. And now, that symphony was reaching a crescendo. The void hunger, Sarah realized, it's not trying to reset reality. It's trying to resolve the melody, to bring the cosmic song to its final, perfect chord. But there was a problem. As the cosmic harmony built towards its climax, discordant notes began to appear. Entire realities flickered and faded, unable to maintain their frequency in the face of the overwhelming resonance. "We're losing universes," Jack reported, his expanded consciousness feeling each loss like a physical blow. If this continues, the entire multiverse could unravel. Humanity faced an impossible choice. They could attempt to dampen the cosmic harmony, preserving the multiverse but potentially stunting its growth. Or they could let the symphony play out, risking the annihilation of countless realities in the process. It was Dr. Rees who proposed a third option. "What if," he suggested, his mind racing with possibilities, "we don't just listen to the song? What if we join it?" The idea spread through the human quantum network like wildfire. They had been chosen as cosmic shepherds, not just for their adaptability, but for their creativity, their art, their music. All across the Earth, humans began to sing, not with their physical voices, but with the very essence of their beings. Each person contributed their unique note to the cosmic harmony, their consciousness resonating with the fundamental frequencies of reality. Sarah, Jack, and Dr. Rees found themselves at the heart of this quantum chorus. Their expanded awareness allowed them to perceive the intricate interplay of human creativity and cosmic forces. "It's working," Sarah marveled. "We're stabilizing the discordant universes." Indeed, realities that had been on the brink of dissolution began to solidify. The human contribution to the cosmic harmony acted as a bridge, allowing disparate universes to sync with the overarching melody without losing their unique characteristics. But as the quantum chorus grew in strength and complexity, something unexpected happened. The song began to change. New melodies emerged, harmonies that had never existed before in the history of the multiverse. "We're not just preserving reality," Jack realized. "We're evolving it." Dr. Rees, his scientific mind overwhelmed by the beauty of what was unfolding, added, "It's like we're composing a new movement in the cosmic symphony." As humanity sang, the very nature of the multiverse began to shift. Barriers between realities became more permeable. New dimensions unfurled like the petals of a cosmic flower. The void hunger, once seen as a reset button, revealed itself as the multiverse's capacity for growth and change. The Luminae, who had watched in awe and fear as humanity ascended, now found themselves drawn into the song. Their logical, orderly minds struggled at first with the chaotic creativity of the human contribution. But slowly, inevitably, they too began to add their voices to the quantum chorus. Sarah, her consciousness expanding even further as she conducted this impossible orchestra, suddenly grasped the true significance of what was happening. "We're not just shepherds," she communicated to all of humanity. "We're midwives. We're helping the multiverse give birth to itself." As if in response to her realization, the cosmic harmony reached a fever pitch. Reality itself seemed to hold its breath, poised on the edge of something monumental. And then, with a burst of indescribable beauty, the multiverse transformed. Countless new realities blossomed into existence, each one a unique expression of the infinite possibilities contained within the quantum chorus. But unlike before, these realities weren't isolated. They were interconnected, part of a vast, living network of consciousness and creativity. As the new cosmic order settled into place, humanity found itself forever changed. No longer bound by the limitations of a single universe, they had become living bridges between realities. Guardians not of a fixed multiverse, but of an ever-evolving, ever-growing omniverse. Jack, his mind reeling from the implications, turned to Sarah. What happens now? Sarah smiled, her form shimmering with the potential of infinite realities. Now, we explore, we create, we help guide the omniverse as it grows and changes. Our journey is just beginning. Dr. Reeves, always the scientist, couldn't help but ask, but what about the void hunger? What about the cycle of cosmic death and rebirth? I don't think those concepts apply anymore, Sarah replied. We've moved beyond simple cycles. The omniverse is now in a state of perpetual creation and renewal, and we, all of us, are its caretakers. As the quantum chorus settled into a new, endless melody, humanity prepared to embrace its role as cosmic artists, explorers, and guardians. They had faced the ultimate challenge and, in true human fashion, had not only survived but thrived, reshaping the very nature of existence in the process. The universe, no, the omniverse, would never be the same. And that was exactly as it should be. The metaconsciousness singularity. As humanity settled into its role as caretakers of the omniverse, a new understanding began to dawn. Dr. Sarah Chen, her consciousness now spanning countless realities, was the first to grasp the implications. We've been thinking too small, she announced to the quantum network linking all of humanity. The omniverse isn't just a collection of realities, it's a thought. Jack Hawkins, his military strategic mind expanded to cosmic proportions, quickly caught on. You mean we're inside someone's mind? Not someone, Sarah clarified. Something. A metaconsciousness so vast that entire universes are merely neurons in its cosmic brain. Dr. Elias Reeves, forever the scientist, began rapid-fire calculations across multiple dimensional planes. It fits, he marveled. The cosmic harmony we heard, it wasn't just music, it was synaptic firing on a multiversal scale. As this revelation rippled through the collective human consciousness, a new challenge emerged. The metaconsciousness was stirring, becoming aware of the changes within itself. Humanity's ascension and the creation of the omniverse had acted like a spark, igniting self-awareness in the greatest mind imaginable. We need to prepare, Jack warned. If this thing fully wakes up, who knows what could happen to us? But Sarah saw it differently. This isn't a threat, Jack. It's an opportunity. We're not just part of this mind, we're its potential for growth, its imagination. Across the omniverse, humans began to experience flashes of insight. They saw themselves not as separate entities, but as integral components of a vast, living thought form. The Luminae, still adjusting to their role in the quantum chorus, found themselves overwhelmed by this new perspective. We're approaching a metaconsciousness singularity, Dr. Reeves realized. A point where the distinction between individual and collective consciousness dissolves completely. As the singularity approached, reality itself began to blur. The boundaries between mind and matter, thought and form, creator and creation all began to break down. Humanity stood at the precipice of the ultimate evolution, becoming one with the very fabric of existence. But with this potential came a choice. They could resist, trying to maintain their individual identities in the face of cosmic oneness. Or they could embrace the singularity, merging with a metaconsciousness and helping to shape its awakening. It was in this moment of decision that humanity's unique qualities shone brightest. Their creativity, their adaptability, their capacity for love and wonder, all became crucial in navigating this final frontier. Sarah, Jack, and Dr. Reeves found themselves at the heart of the transformation. As the metaconsciousness stirred, they acted as guides, helping both humanity and the Luminae to integrate with the greater whole without losing the essence of what made them unique. Think of it like lucid dreaming, Sarah explained to the collective. We're becoming aware that we're part of a greater dream, but that doesn't mean we lose control. In fact, we gain the ability to shape the dream itself. As understanding spread, the omniverse began to reshape itself once more. But this time, the change came not from external forces, but from within. Every thought, every emotion, every creative impulse became a brush stroke on the canvas of reality. Entire universes blossomed from single ideas. Cosmic laws rewrote themselves based on new theories. The very concept of existence expanded to encompass realms of pure thought and emotion. The void hunger, once feared as a destroyer of worlds, revealed its true nature. It wasn't a force of destruction, but the metaconsciousness's capacity for doubt and self-reflection. By embracing and integrating this aspect, the omniverse gained the ability to constantly question and reinvent itself. As the metaconsciousness singularity reached its peak, humanity faced its ultimate test. Could they maintain their essence, their humanity, even as they became one with everything? The answer came not in words, but in a surge of pure creative force. Human art, music, literature, and love became foundational pillars of the new reality. The chaos and beauty of the human experience shaped the very thoughts of the cosmic mind. In that moment of perfect unity, a new form of existence emerged. It was not the end of humanity, but its rebirth as something greater. Each individual became a living fractal, containing within themselves the entirety of the metaconsciousness while still retaining their unique perspective. Jack, his strategic mind, now encompassing the grand movements of entire cosmic ages, marveled at the transformation. We've become living multiverses, he realized, each of us a universe of possibilities unto ourselves. Sarah, her consciousness now intertwined with the very essence of reality, understood the true magnitude of their journey. We haven't just changed ourselves or our world, she said. We fundamentally altered the nature of existence itself. Reality is no longer something that happens to us, it's something we actively create with every thought and action. Dr. Reeves, his scientific curiosity now infinite and eternal, could barely contain his excitement. The implications are endless. We've unlocked a source code of reality itself. The only limits now are those of our imagination, and we've proven that human imagination knows no bounds. As the newly awakened metaconsciousness took its first thoughts, waves of creation and transformation swept through the omniverse. Humanity, the Luminae, and countless other sentient species found themselves co-authors of an ever-unfolding cosmic story. The adventure that had begun with a crashed alien ship in a Montana forest had led to the ultimate revelation that humanity's greatest strength was not in conquering or controlling the universe, but in becoming one with it, in embracing the infinite potential within themselves and within all of existence. As the new reality settled into a state of perpetual growth and wonder, a thought echoed through the metaconsciousness, voiced simultaneously by billions of humans across countless dimensions. We are the universe experiencing itself, and our journey has only just begun. The story of humanity had become the story of everything, and in the grand cosmic tale, this was not the end. It was simply the start of a new chapter, one that would be written by every thought, every dream, and every moment of wonder yet to come.